Hey everybody, welcome back to the For the Long Haul podcast. So this is Blaine, obviously, sitting alongside,
Brandon.
and today we're going to talk about the bull market. So right now, this is the segment before the long haul. We'll just do 5 minutes worth of just talking about whatever we want to talk about, hot topics, saying hello, what's going on in our lives. Till 5 minutes in, you want to start the episode right off the bat? Skip the 5 minutes in. What's up, Brandon?
Okay. Nothing much, but okay. I want to mention two things. One, I want to mention two things because one, I'm just going to quickly mention because I've been wanting to mention it to you, but then I want to mention something way more important to you.
Okay.
A, I started listening to Ill Biscuits because I needed something to listen to while I'm walking and all that. So I started listening to Ill Biscuits.
Okay.
And now the big thing, I sent you this. I don't know if you ever saw it. Messi is coming to MLS.
Wait, that's like here.
Yes.
He's going to be recruited by an American team?
He is already signed and everything. He has left Paris Saint. I'm not gonna try to say. I'm gonna mispronounce the other word. Germain. That he has officially left the club. He has signed and is contracted with Inter Miami. And
Oh,
unfortunately,
wow.
like our buddy Morgan messaged me like 2 days after it happened, saying, "Dude, I tried to look the tickets up so we can go watch Messi in Texas. Like, hopefully, he was facing one of the Texas teams." They won't playing in Texas for the rest of the season, MLS season, and B, the tickets have already went up 5 times in price from like about $100 a ticket to $500 a ticket. That's from buying it from directly from them and all that. If you go on the aftermarket, it's about 500 to 1,000 per
Wow.
ticket.
So they're selling their own tickets themselves have increased their price.
Well, I went to the website, then I went to go buy tickets, and it took me to it was either Ticket Hub or Grubhub, or GetHub or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not like how you wouldn't know you buy tickets for a sports team. It takes you to the like Ticketmaster or Ticket Hub or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what it took me to, and the tickets the price already went up. Well, before it was like officially announced Messi was on it, they're like about $100 apparently. Afterwards, now that the news is official, it's about they went up 5 times. I haven't checked it myself, but everybody's been saying they've gone up 5 times in the price.
So those are all like aftermarket, like second sale market.
Well, like people are saying second, like if you're trying to buy tickets from somebody else, that's about 500 to 1,000 now.
Mm-hmm. Well, they got to pay for Messi somehow because that wasn't cheap.
It was like the demand or the Messi effect already went into effect. I don't know when he's officially playing yet, but he's already officially signed to the team and all that. And he also turned down $1.5 billion from a contract for 3 years with a Saudi club to come here. And he's not getting paid nearly as much for that.
Wow.
So he turned down a big money. He even said in an interview, if it was for the money, I would have gone to Saudi Arabia. Barcelona was trying to get him back. Barcelona was trying to get him back. But he heard that if they were to get him back, they would need to sell some players and reduce everybody's salary. And he didn't want to do that to players and affect the livelihood and all that. Yeah. So he chose not to come back to Barcelona, even though he wants to, because Barcelona is basically his home.
Yeah.
Because like originally it wasn't his choice to leave Barcelona. He had no choice but to leave Barcelona.
Why did he have to leave?
Finances and the club couldn't really pay anymore. Like the club is in financial ruins right now, and they're like a shell of the former selves.
Dang. Okay.
Yes, but
anything about? I felt like they were like doing good. So like they're not doing good.
Like it's something to do with the finances and the law of La Liga, and I think also the laws of Spain too. That are not like they haven't been like doing financially good for some reason. Like they've won stuff, but like money wise, they couldn't afford Messi anymore and all that.
Well, how much they had to pay him anyways? Like there's literally like that's so much money.
Yeah.
Well, so, there you go.
Hopefully next season we can buy tickets and go watch him.
All right, you got 30 seconds for your second thing.
No, that was the second thing. The second thing was Messi coming to MLS.
What was the first thing?
That I started listening to Your Biscuits.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, cool. I like Your Biscuits. I haven't listened to them very much recently. I'll just like put in some tunes a little bit when I'm working, but not like all the time. So it just kind of goes back and forth.
Fun fact: the team isn't dead last in MLS right now. So next season, they're probably going to be top of the league.
Man, All right, we were in at 5 minutes, so that was cool having him here in the States. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back.
Yep.
For Long Haul Podcast.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to a pre-show. If you were there for that, if not, welcome to the main. It's Blaine, obviously sitting alongside.
Brandon.
And like we said at the beginning, we're talking about we're in a bull market. Ding, ding, ding. That's pretty cool. I've been watching the stocks kind of grow since the start of the year, and it's been pretty substantial because you consider a big dip and coming out of the dip, and just so happens when the year flipped over. So, it just looks like we're just cruising on up. We're obviously not to where we used to be, but we're working our way up. But it's kind of interesting. Just kind of seems like we're not doing that good. Like inflation and like the housing pricings and stuff like that. It just seems things seem kind of expensive. Gas has come down though, thankfully. It's kind of flipping up and down around a little bit, but it just seems like we're not there yet. But like the market's coming up, but even then, like the market could be really optimistic, and that it's just a fear index. So we're just feeling good. Some things are lining up. Hopefully, it just keeps going though. I mean, but eventually, we're going to get back to old time highs. It's just a matter of time as long as America continues to be a nation in advance. So,
like, here's the thing I always say whenever people freak out about about when stuff goes down like more than usual. I'm like, and this is something that everybody has said, and like this is something we gotta realize. The stock market is basically a living thing. It's gonna go up, it's gonna go down, gonna go up, and then when it goes down, it's gonna come back up again. No need to panic unless it like goes super down, like and everything bottoms out to zero. That's the only time you really should worry. Basically,
and that's never happened technically.
I mean, unless you kind of consider the Great Depression.
Well, it didn't bottom out. I mean, it went down like a crazy percent, which I don't have in front of me, but like there was no bottom. Like if you were in a diversified portfolio, you weren't in like different companies that failed, like specifically, like you wouldn't have lost money at the end of the day. Like if you didn't sell anything.
Yeah.
If you sold at that moment, yeah. But if you were able to hold on for the next whatever 10 years, I mean, it was only a couple of years and it shot right back up out of it, I do believe. I'm not exactly, I don't have the information in front of me, but
I mean,
like
it was Great
it came
Depression.
back.
It was the Great Depression. The spot that kind of really put us really down economically. Then basically us kind of joining the Second World War, us kind of ramping up production, and everything kind of basically,
And
then the end of the war is basically the end of the war kind of shot us back up, and actually led us to be where we are today in terms of global superpower. Because before then, and even after the First World War, we weren't a superpower. It's not until the end of the Second World War, if I remember everything correctly, that America really became a super powerhouse in the global stage.
Okay, there you go. Well, yeah. So, I mean, because of those things, we have, built ourselves up in one way or another. But so, yeah, right now we're on the come up, as they say. But bull market, and I do believe that technically means that we've had for 2 quarters a positive growth, if you want to be like definitions say.
Which is weird, and honestly, because everybody's been saying, "Well, about to crash, but it's doing good." But who knows? We're gonna. This is the unfortunate reality. At some point in time, we're gonna crash. That is unfortunately a truth. At some point, the market is gonna crash again, but then it's gonna go back up and then reach new highs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is the unfortunate truth that I don't think 99.999% of people want to admit.
Yeah,
the market is going to crash at some point.
It comes up, it comes down, it comes up, it comes down.
Yeah.
And so, like a time where stock prices are rising and market sentiment is optimistic, generally a bull market occurs when there's a rise of 20% or more in a broad market index over at least a 2-month period. And so that means it's not super short term, at least 2 months.
That's about half a year, but that's half a year.
Well, that's 2 quarters is half a year. This says at least 2-month period. I mean,
no, I thought you said 2 quarters.
I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. That's how I feel about it, because we say like a recession is 2 quarters of negative growth. I thought,
yeah.
I think it's 2 quarters. But and so we're currently on the rise. But yeah, it's up and down. It's a cycle. It goes in a circle, life to death. The market is up to down, up to down, up to down. But as long as we continue to grow and develop and make innovations and grow as a country, because that's our stock market is in the country of the United States, then that's where most people have their money invested is within the U.S. stock market. Then all those things are going to increase, and so that's the thing. If you're not like worried about like, oh, it's going down, I gotta sell. Like that's how you get yourself typically in trouble. We're not financial advisors. This is just research, listening to people, listen to Warren Buffett, all that kind of good stuff. But obviously, don't go make your own informed decision without our influence. Just we only have opinions here.
Actually, I do remember, like, I can't remember what stock it was, but I did get notified that one of my stocks hit at a 52-week high.
Uh-huh.
Like about like last week. I can't remember which one it was. It's just one of them hit a 52-week high. I was like, oh, that's neat. Back to
Wow.
walk. I was like, oh, that's not neat. Just back to stock and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because actually, I don't know if I told you, I'm actually in a different route now. They have me in Steam. They have me in a one-town oval. Technically 3 towns oval, because it's 2 other towns before that one. Like about 30-minute drive.
Well, you're in Stevensville now.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so I'm done instead of Granbury. It's not bad. It's more chill.
Stevensville's probably a little easier.
Yeah.
In terms of chillness.
Yeah.
You drove by the campus?
Huh?
Driven by the campus at all?
Kind of. I mean, like, probably. I mean, like, I can drive by it if I want to on my way to or from.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but no, but like I remember, I looked at it. I was like, okay, then back to.
Nah.
Okay. That was on me because I hit the thing.
I think that should be a little short video for Instagram or something.
Yeah, that I definitely should be. But as I was saying, was that I checked it, then I was like, okay, cool. Then back to like stalking and all that stuff as I usually do, because like I was looking at my phone every now and then, and I was like, oh, 52-week high. I can't remember what it was. I was like, okay, boom, cool, boom, back to doing what I usually do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, it's cool that been a rising market. I've been watching my stuff, but it's almost the same thing. Like you look at it like, hey, cool, it's rising, but just can't stare at it. You're watching grass grow. So
like
move on.
The watch pod never boils. That's what I kind of think about. Like, you look at it and you're like, oh yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
Life is so much easier to like buy the securities and just hold them.
Yeah, like
than it is to buy and sell. Like it's so much more stressful. It's really entertaining, and then it's really like, oh my god, and then it's really entertaining, and it's like, oh my god.
And then like you gotta remember, sometimes you're gonna have your good day, sometimes you're gonna have your bad day. Some days you go up and down, but you basically end up at the exact same spot you did in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like, that's when it's cool because like I'm not doing anything, and I get to be like, man, look, it's grown so much since the year started. And then if you
you go.
Oh, but I was gonna let you go. But the year started since the year started. Like, man, look how much it's come up. But then you look at the big picture, still down a little bit. But look at the close picture. Like, man, look at the green. It's all the way up, but still technically down though. So we're making some moves for sure. I've been waiting over a year to have a swing trade come around in fruition.
Yeah.
So been waiting a while for that, and been buying all the way down this slope for a while. And finally, we're making our way up, and so this is great.
Yeah, like this, like I was trying to remember what I was gonna say, but basically, like I want to check it like maybe once every 2 weeks and all that, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I got to the point where I kept on checking every single day, and like it's like oh yeah, I'm like. For the most part, it's just like it's like stable going down or stable going up, and if it's going down, it's not by that much. So I'm like, might as well not watch it every single day because just like, oh, if I get a notification that something's like going really high, I may check it out. But like if I don't get a notification, maybe just once a week I'll check it. Like actually open the app and check it myself.
If you have to look at it every day and it makes you like nervous and you can't stop thinking about it, you put too much money in it. Yeah. Because it's clearly too much money because you're so worried about what's going to happen to it. And so that's a thought that if you have to look at it every day and you're worried about it, you most likely put more money than you're comfortable with doing. And that's a sign.
Unless you're like me, that like, like if you have some stuff, like there's some apps you open even though, there's no change or you don't know, or you really don't have a rhyme or reason. because like it's like for me, it was one of those apps. Robinhood is one of those apps that I used to open a lot on a day, just like for no reason other than to open and just take a quick glance. Like never had that much money invested in or anything. Oh, I'm worried about it. It's just like doing something just because I need to do something.
Yeah, I pop into Robinhood not every day, but when I think about it, or like I notice the app because I'm glowing to something else. Oh, look, let's check it out. And Robinhood sends me a notification every time there's a 5% change.
Yeah.
And so that's cool because I'll see that. But like, hey, you ticked by 5% in this today. Oh, cool. Let me go check that out. What's that look like?
Okay, I know you didn't say it, but I just want to take a quick note. I sound like you said Fireball, and I'm installing Fireball cables actually right now outside of my house.
That's cool. So you can now sign up for fiber because of that.
Yeah,
because we got fiber here, but I have 300 megabyte fiber, which is like that's not the slowest. There's 100, but I have 300, and I pay for 300 with AT&T, not a sponsor, but we get like 380 or 350 consistently, 350 hardwired, and up and down also.
Yeah, I think they said it wouldn't be any change in price. I just gotta go talk to them whenever they're done and all that. Because like right now, like they dug one hole in my in my yard.
Yeah.
And then I think they were gonna dig another hole, and they're like, "Oh crap! Wait, this is the wrong spot."
Oh my god!
It's like
at least you don't have a beautiful lawn. Like
there's a bunch of dirt where like there used to be grass and all that, like just like dirt and like it looks like it was dug up or something because it wasn't that bare and all that. And like you go like you look down the you look down the street. They've dug at least one, maybe two holes in everybody's lawn and a lot of people's lawns.
Yeah.
Because they also got to watch out for the water line too.
Yep. Yeah, there's like electrical lines coming from your house, the water lines. If anyone has like propane, there's those lines as well. Natural gas or whatever.
Yeah,
so there's a couple things.
So I know that lines. Yeah, so I know that I have like a big hole in my lawn, but like they taped it off and all that. Anyway, back to what you were saying. That was completely off tangent. It sounded like you said fiber, and that's what reminded me of it.
Still interesting. Not everywhere's got fiber. Granbury's a smaller town, not massively developed, even though it's not like an undeveloped town either. But they're getting some luxuries they haven't had before. Internet sucks in some places, so I don't know. I kind of hit that point there, though.
Yeah, you speak a little bit from experience.
Yeah, dude. I live in Cedar Park, which is Austin, Texas, essentially. If people who live in Austin say this isn't Austin, but for someone who doesn't live in Austin that has moved to the area, I consider this North Austin because it's north of Austin. And because like if you tell anybody where you live, like if you tell someone I live in Granbury and they're from North Texas, they don't know where the hell Granbury is. You're like, I live south of Fort Worth.
Yeah.
I live like North Austin.
Yeah. But anyway, are you going to be buying some stuff since we're in the bull market right now? Are you going to be buying some stuff, or are you going to be waiting a little bit?
I mean, I have been buying stuff.
You're going to sell. Oh, are you going to sell? That's the other option. Because wait, did you give the definition? Yeah, you did give the definition. Never mind.
So, I mean, I'm not going to sell yet because technically I haven't broken even. Because buying on the dip and coming down, we haven't got up to, we're not even next to all-time highs yet. But
I mean, I am on one of mine.
Well, on one of yours, but this is like diversified one, and this one's heavily tech, and tech got like really destroyed, and so coming back up on that. But I'm not selling yet. I will sell when we reach market highs where they were before. That's when I plan to sell. And because that's going to give me a really decent return. And that's my plan on when I'm going to sell is when we get to that point. I got to make an actual dollar amount, which would be wise to do and set that when we get near. So it auto sells when we get there. But because I'm not going to plan on holding it just on this particular item forever and ever. This one moves very strongly when there's a sharp change in the market.
Well, I want to take a quick note. One of the S&P 500s, it's like 13 cents from reaching its all-time high again.
Oh, that's cool.
At least the one I have. It's 13 cents from reaching its all-time high again.
Sweet. Yeah, I've peeked around at a couple things, but Yeah, I will ultimately. Oh, dang, we went up even more since I turned my phone off, man. I am very close to break even. I need it's a 4.2% change till I will hit break even, and then it's all uphill from there. And there's still like, I don't know, the high before. It's been a while, but the old high, it's over 100% different from where I am about to be.
Yeah, but like it's honestly interesting that we'll end this considering how then again, like this economic cycle really has been the weirdest one I in general because
Hmm.
the job reports have said like what like we're at a really good unemployment level, yet we have high inflation, yet we have high yet people are still struggling to get jobs and all that. Companies are people are being laid off and
Hmm.
all that stuff. And housing market is crazy and all that. And like everybody's wondering, is everything gonna go low, or are we stuck at a new normal now? Unfortunately,
I eventually everything eventually is a new normal. I mean, I would love housing to not be astronomically expensive, but I also live in an area that is highly desirable, and that's just unfortunate side of things where I currently choose to live.
yeah. But
So,
like even take that into effect, like uh, 2 years ago, a house was being sold above asking price a lot of times because people were moving everywhere and all that.
mhm,
And
just low
mm,
supply.
yeah, low supply. I mean, still, I think there still even is a low supply, and unfortunately, I think
That's why we haven't had like a sharp decrease in home prices because there's just the supply so low. Like it won't happen.
and
Uh,
also there were companies that were buying houses and just turning them into rental properties and all that too,
Yeah.
and that doesn't help the regular average day Joe like you and me,
Hmm.
who as of right now the only place we won't, the only, honestly in my opinion the only way we won't we'll be able to buy a house. We know we're gonna have a house without like going into debt to buy one
Hmm.
is whenever we get ours passed on to us.
Yeah, that'll be one thing. That's the only way that you have it without
Considering
having the
how
debt.
considering how
Yeah.
crazy it is right now. I told that to my dad one time. He looked at me. He was like, "Not saying that I want you to die anytime soon. I'm just saying you can agree with me that because of the prices right now, that's probably the only way somebody in my generation can buy a house." He's like, you even said something similar to that before. He's like, "Okay, yeah, you're right,"
Hmm.
because he
Yeah.
agrees. Like he was talking about mom one day. He's saying right now, Brandon's generation's a little screwed because like everything's so expensive they can't afford crap. I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you. Finally, somebody that's older that says that we're not lazy. That just says right now we odds are against us.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate side of things. Even though we may make we make on average more money, it's the most expensive it's ever been, I think, to live
Yeah,
anytime recently in the last couple the generations that are all currently alive.
yeah,
The amount of money they made and how much money was equivalent to like college education. Like you could work a summer back then and that would pay for the year of school. You have to work the whole year to pay for your college. And then like now, for example, like the rate of college price versus the wage
yeah,
rate, how it's changed is drastically different. The housing prices and how that's changed versus wages. So like honestly, I just feel like we and then with what's going on, the sharp rise of home prices and everything, I feel like although we're a generation that at first just seems like we're not good at what we're doing, we are really conscious about like money and wanting to buy a house and stuff like that to a certain extent more than I think in previous
yeah.
generations.
And
But we've been
the other
set up with a really bad hand.
yeah, the other generations, they could just save have the disposable income for 2 years, and then boom, be able to afford a house or put the down payment on a house. If you want to do the average wage of somebody in our generation, they have to save about half the disposable income for 10 years to do a down payment on a house.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, honestly. And then I thought about this, and I've thought about this in the past. that was just like, and I feel like I just don't remember exactly. I feel like I thought about this before we had the records to show about corporations buying like a third of real estate transactions or something. I felt like at one point, because I was very, very, very interested in how the rental market aspects works and owning the rentals and having those.
Mhm.
Like, you have a rental, you make money off your rental, you buy more rentals, and that's a mathematical equation to be short that you do. Like, why would you sell any? You cash out, refi, buy more. And so, like, you would just keep buying more and buying more and more because why not? You can. And so that's like the thing is like I envisioned what would happen. And I don't remember who I've told this to that long term, like the homes are going to be owned by business or whatever, just individuals or something,
Yeah.
organizations in general, because they're just going to keep buying more. The money ball rolls. It gets bigger and bigger. You buy more and more. Why not? Makes more money. You're going to keep doing it. And so I've envisioned it to get to a point where it gets harder and harder to buy home because they're owned by everybody. And you're not going to sell them. Like if I own 40 houses, I'm passing them all down. And
Yeah.
if I really want to have fun and with my money, I can cash out those and get the money off all the equity and still have the rent pay those and everything for the mortgages and whatnot and play with the money. And so, but that's the generational wealth. You pass all that on and you're not going to sell them. So you're going to keep owning those. And that's just an example. And that's how I feel that over time, like maybe in 100 years, it like just like, maybe how owning a car too, like, electric cars, we have Ubers and stuff like that. Like probably far down in the future, just like how like in New York, you don't really buy a car. Like a lot of people like ride their bicycles and stuff. Like it's way less likely to own a car.
Mhm.
And I feel like almost how that works with the cars in that market, like owning a car, not so much take a taxi or Uber or ride your bicycle or something because it's around the corner and traffic's terrible. It's almost like owning a home. It just makes more sense to rent it. Not to mention it may just not be obtainable because so many people own them and the people who are selling them, the supply is so low, they can sell it for an astronomically high price. And the people who want to buy it need so much money to get it.
Although, like, there's another thing you gotta take into account: the production of new homes, which unfortunately has been slow because of supply chain issues and all that, and
Yeah.
the increase in prices over the past 3 or 4 years. I think we're slowly getting back to regular housing production, but it's still probably going to take another 2, maybe 3 years before it's back to what it used to be and all that.
Yeah,
It's like
that's
those are
another thing.
because there's a development being built in town
hmm
across from the Kroger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be done by next year, but I don't know if they're gonna be done by next
Hmm.
year. I just know that that place is having a is being developed and all that. And I think there may be one other location in town that's being developed. I know in Steamroad, I think there's an apartment being developed, and I think another housing development being built.
Interesting. Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's they can sell them. They just got to get the stuff to build them.
Yeah,
That was part of the problems when all this happened. Like builders building new home helps ease the problem of demand because they're supplying more homes. And so with them being unable to build, it made it that much worse. Not only
yeah,
were people selling their homes, there was less supply, it was strangled by the amount of people that couldn't have homes built. So therefore, that's even less supply, and people didn't want to move because of COVID and all this different stuff happening. So like strangle, 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 and then now we're coming out of it, but there's still strangle just because of how delayed it was over delayed by like over a year or two or something like that.
yeah.
Insane.
But you got anything else, Wayne? Because I honestly got nothing else to add, really.
I think that pretty much puts it in. We the recap we went through is that hey, we're in a bull market. Yay, it's awesome. It's great. Green going up, money. But keep doing your thing. We talk about how to do those kinds of things and Warren
Yep.
Buffett advice. Look at what Warren Buffett says. That'll give you some easy advice for you if you want something easy to work with. But yeah, so that's good. And you know, pretty much in all the other little stuff that we mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, guys, until next time, Blaine, what can they find us at?
All right, so you guys can come check us out on. Actually, I feel like I have I have like my group for this, and I don't remember it at this moment. So you guys can find us on Instagram. I'm back in it. Instagram, where you can see new posts on it from us at For Long Haul Podcast. Check us out there. Also, if you want to shoot us an email for sponsorship information or anything like that, It is at ftlhpodcast@gmail.com, just like For the Long Haul, ftlhpodcast@gmail.com. Now, also, we have a video version. So if you want to come check us out on video, we are on YouTube, just at For the Long Haul Podcast. So you can check us out on there. If you want to watch us while listening, there you go. We'd love to have you wherever you want to hear us. All right, you guys. We'll see you in the next go around. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye.